So why did I write Food and You? Well, this book started off as The Food Addict's Diet, which I wrote starting in 1987 and finally got published in 1991. And the reason why I wrote Food and You is I took extracts out of The Food Addict's Diet when it went out of print very quickly. In less than 2 years it was out of print. And yet these ideas are so current. Addiction for food, the idea of a food addict, in fact is more current now than it was when this book was first published. It probably was a bit before its time actually. What is this book? Well, it's a very, very simple idea. It's probably one of the simplest diets you ever heard of, and yet it's one of the most challenging. And the reason why it's so challenging is because it gets at the root of bad eating habits, of overweight, of eating disorders, of all the sort of difficulties people have with food. Right at the very bottom is addiction. Addiction lies there right at the bottom, and you have to dig a bit to find it. Another way of finding it, of course, is to try and find out what foods you are addicted to. And of course, people are not addicted to all food. They say they are. Oh, I'm just a food addict, I just eat too much. No, they don't. If you ask them for real details about this, they'll say, I eat too much of the wrong things. Well, what, I ask you, are the wrong things? What I have done is I have discovered what the wrong things are. And it's very, very simple. There are 4 particular food ingredients that are very, very common in the British and American diet. And these 4 ingredients, I believe, are responsible for food addiction. I say they're responsible for food addiction because they have certain characteristics within them that make them more likely to attract food addicts than other foods. For example, do you know anybody who's addicted to celery or spinach? No. But if I said to you, do you know someone who's addicted to sugar or chocolate or cheese or biscuits or pasta, you'd say, oh yes, I know someone like that. Well, maybe that someone is you. How can you know if you are a food addict? Well, there are 3 ways of knowing. One is, for you, food has more meaning than just filling you up to keep you going. Food is a comfort, a friend, a fix for when things are wrong. If you use food as a fix, you are a food addict. And then have a look at what you use as a fix. What do you have when you're feeling really low? Do you go, like so many people do, for chocolate? Or would you rather have a nice big, sweet, heavy piece of cake? Or are you likely to just go for a hamburger, preferably a cheeseburger, dripping with cheese and salad and beef, but above all in that bun? That's the second way of knowing. Then the third way of knowing is to look at the ingredients of the food that you actually do consume. This takes a little bit of science, and this of course is what is in this book and why I had to write it as a book, because although it's a very simple diet, it does need a little bit of careful investigation to discover what your food fix really is. Okay, so we're going to examine the diet. We're going to look for 4 ingredients, and we are going to make what I call the 4-0 plan. And the 4-0 plan is this. You are going to, if you want to have a go, do, because it's very interesting. If you want to have a go at the 4-0 plan, completely eliminate every little tiny trace of cow's milk, beet or cane sugar, wheat and potato. Okay, got it? Cow's milk, sugar, wheat and potato. I put it to you that those ingredients make up more than half of the food you consume. And if you are really a bad food addict, it might make up as much as 80%. You'll get to the point where you are focusing so much on this addiction of yours that you're eating very little else. You'll have toast for breakfast and maybe wheat cereal. You'll have sandwiches for lunch or a hamburger with a bun. You'll have pastry or pasta for tea. You might nibble at biscuits. You might have a piece of cake. You really find those foods are helpful. They keep you going when you're stressed. Or you might like crisps, chips, jacket potatoes. Or you may go for sweets, confectionery, chocolate. Or you may go for cream, yoghurt, cheese, milky drinks. Do you see where I'm going with this? That is the 4-0 plan. If you want to find out more, you'll find it in Food and You, and it's available through Wren Publications. Good luck, and if you want to know anything more about this, just email me. I'm always there. Goodbye.